But yeah, I guess we can get started now, man. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Barrow Spaces. Unfortunately, we won't be joined by many projects today building on Barra. Even some of our usuals, they're all out having a blast in ETH Tokyo. Looks like fun. I'll definitely check that out next year. I see all the guys having fun there, meeting new people, and it's great to see that people are enjoying themselves after really the shitty year that 2022 was. But yeah, I guess we can just get started and see how everyone's doing, and just talk shop as we always do. So, as usual, we have our co-host for these spaces. It's usually Barrowland or Barrow Markets NFT. Those are our typical co-hosts for the Berachain spaces. Got to show support and love very early on in this ecosystem. And yeah, let's have some fun. So, for the individual behind Barrowland, how are you doing today, brother? Doing good?
Yeah, what's up, man? This is Napzilla. Yeah, man, doing great. Excited to be here again. Love these spaces.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Um, Grickel, how are you doing, brother? A daily speaker on these panels, man.
Yeah, I'm doing good, bro. Same shit. Just running around doing lots of tasks, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I like these places. Like to come on and help me when I'm just walking in the country as well. These are good spaces to get my head into.
Appreciate the love and support, bro. And ah, days. It's been a minute, man.
Yo,
From
yo, yo.
GG Quest or GG Quest boys are here, man. That's awesome. It's been like a month and a half or so. I brought up Rick, by the way, man. I'm not sure if it's a connection issue on his end, but Rick, I sent you an invite to speak as well, brother.
I,
Um,
I, th- I think he was out partying yesterday, so I don't know if
ah,
he has like the voice to speak.
understandable, man.
Yeah,
Understandable.
yeah,
But Days,
yeah.
how have you guys been at GG Quest, man? You guys have any updates for us, bro? Anything you wanna share, bro? How you doing, man? It's good to catch up with you here, brother.
Yeah. Thanks for asking me. A lot of people don't ask that these days. Yeah, I mean, we haven't taken a break in like 3 months and kind of like took a break yesterday. So yeah, we're just trying to like reel everything in, everything we've built so far. I mean, for everyone who don't know what we're building like the pitch to the gamers is the ultimate progression system in Web3 gaming. So imagine, every ecosystem, all the different chains that have all their different games all in one place. And for the developers, it's more like we're building a Web3 gaming specific reputation protocol with built-in community engagement, community contribution, and security tools for game developers. Um, but yeah, I think we're ready to start like rolling out stuff next week. We've slowly been, we're going to roll out sending out invites to people from tomorrow to, get allow list to test out our Quest ID. So that's going to be your main gaming ID. You can attach other like game passes to it. We're working on some tech around that too. So really excited to start showing everyone. We've been building since last August. We've been bootstrapping. We have 5 developers, 2 UX designers, and Rick and I are managing everything else. Oh yeah, we also have like a really kick-ass um, esports head of esports we just brought on. So we're actually also doing a dead drop tournament end of month. So far, we have a $4,000 pool that we are putting together ourselves, and hopefully we grow it to like 10,000 or something if someone wants to sponsor. Last one we put together in 3 days have had 6,000 views so far on our Twitch streams. Um, Bryson reached out. That was crazy. Anyway, so the next one's going to be bigger. Um, it's going to be pretty nuts. We're bringing in Twitch partners who play Valorant and professionally esports and whatnot. So we're doing a ton of stuff. It's like so hard to even cover. I don't want to take up all the time.
Well, man, glad to have you up here. I know the guys that are building on top of Berachain want to build some gamified stuff, and their whole culture is around NFTs and all that stuff, and really just making these DeFi protocols fun, and hopefully with the whole bridging and all of that stuff, all that's mitigated, and cross chain can actually be fun. But speaking of cross chain fun. I want to bring up attention to our buddy Feel Pain. He actually has quite the interesting tale to tell the audience about his recent bridging experience on Cosmos. So, Pain, thank you for coming up again, brother. Always
Oh, of
good
course,
to
no
have you on
problem.
the panel with these spaces, man.
Love to
But
talk to the community. But no, it was I was just laughing telling Wabi this story because I was kind of ranting about and this is like no diss to Cosmos people, but I was kind of ranting about Cosmos. I was like, damn, this thing is kind of hard to use. Like I had to use Kanto to mint these NFTs, right? And to bridge Kanto back to ETH mainnet was like the most convoluted ass bullshit. You literally had to go and first to use Kanto's bridge. I used Kanto's real bridge at first, and it was like in a 2 day queue. And I was like, all right, well, I don't want to wait for this. And then they said, well, you can use Gravity Bridge, and it'll go through instantly. And I was like, okay, cool. And so they said, all right, well, you got to download the Kepler wallet. And I had a Kepler wallet, so it was no big deal. But I was like, all right, sure. And then switch to the gravity chain and then send the grav address, and then you basically could move it through. But wait, you needed gravity, and to get gravity you actually had to buy Atom and then go swap it on Osmosis for gravity, send it over to the wallet. And then after you needed gravity, it was like, oh, you also needed wrapped ETH for the transaction. You could do it instantly for $40, or in 4 hours for like $15 or some shit. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't need it like instantly. I'll just do the 4 hour one. It was 2 days. So it was the same amount of time after I did all this all this super long convoluted process. And like I've been in crypto for like 4 years, and it was just funny because I was like, dude, there's no way anyone could figure this out, like who wasn't like deep in the trenches like us. But it was just, yeah, it was so much. It just made me think like, man, we have a long way to go for um all this, like, as far as you know, a good UI for the average person. I think the Uniswap wallet and stuff like that is a good step in the right direction. Though that stuff's pretty cool, and it makes it like a lot more accessible for normal people.
yeah, man, always fun to hear about people in the trenches and really the struggles and all that stuff, and experimenting with these quote unquote gigabrain nice UI DeFi protocols. But for the individual behind Bear Markets NFT, man, what's going on, brother? And I want to know how you guys are doing. I know it's been 2 weeks since we've had these spaces, but I think a good icebreaker to welcome you guys back is if you can share your enthusiasm with some of the lovely DeFi experiences that you've had, similar to Feel Praying, when it pertains to all things bridging and you know interoperability.
Yeah, what's up, guys? This is Mimetics. How's everybody doing?
Oh, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Great to have you up here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on?
First of all, somebody was talking about esports. I was a professional esports team manager in another life, so it's kind of interesting to hear about. And then speaking of the bridging, I know that Smokey is well. Don't take this as gospel, okay? But Smokey is contracting a layer 0 bridge for Berachain. So like the goal there is you can take your L1 NFTs and easily bridge in the Berachain and easily bridge back. And so what we envision for NFT Fi on Berachain, the bigger picture, is like an aggregated experience. So like Uniswap is launching an NFT marketplace that's going to be aggregated experience with gas optimization. We're picturing that, but also aggregating on the Berachain side. So I know that in addition to contracting a layer 0 bridge, Smokey and the boys are contracting a indexer for Berachain. So, and there's already indexers that exist for layer 1, for NFTs on layer 1. So essentially we can just combine indexing on the Berachain side and on the layer 1 side, have an aggregated marketplace experience that any Bera can go, transact on the marketplace of their choice, bridge back and forth to Berachain, and have hopefully this kind of seamless NFT market experience that aggregates both sides. And I know that they're already hard at work contracting a lot of this stuff. At first, we thought we were going to have to build out this Bera indexer ourselves, and same with the bridge, which the bridge is even more dubious, like daunting, just because of security and concerns about security. Because whenever you have a bridge, you have like major liability issues, right? Like anything like a bridge, you're worried about getting hacked. You're worried about losing your funds because it's basically like custodial, but using a smart contract. So a little bit concerning always with a bridge. But I'm not sure who exactly they're contracting that with. But from what Smokey told me, it's going to be pretty legit. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that works out. As far as my own personal bridging experience, I haven't done much bridging of late besides bridging to Arbitrum in order to ape into some of these ARB projects. So yeah, I mean, I know the Arbitrum bridging experience is pretty smooth.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. The Synapse bridge.
Yeah.
Is that what you use? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and Synapse is partnered with Smokey and the Boys as well. So.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, again, don't take this as gospel, but I think it might be Synapse that they're contracting the Layer 0 bridge, the NFT bridge with. Not positive, but
interesting stuff. Well, yeah.
Yep.
Synapse is great. I think it's pretty easy. It's never had an issue with it. I had a good moment today because I had a wallet that I bridged to Optimism with using Synapse like a year ago, and I forgot about it. And then there was like I never claimed the Optimism, and someone DM'd me about it and just let me know. And I thought it was a scam at first, but they were like, "No, you got an unclaimed airdrop. I'm just helping people out." I was like, "Wow, that's cool." Like, so yeah, it was a wholesome moment.
Bro, is that F-Dub in the audience, bro? Live from Japan? Yo, what's up, man?
Hello,
The
hello,
man
Wabi.
himself, dude. Bro, the man himself. The honey jar creator, dude. The man with the iron bare fist, bro. Where's Troop, man? Troop. There it is.
I think Chief's busy. How's it going, guys? How's it going, Wabi?
Man, doing great, man. Just trying to revive the bear spaces. We missed last week's, and right when we come back, everyone's at Tokyo, but still trying to discover some new protocols building on Berachain, and we have Bumby Bera up, and always a pleasure to have some of our usuals up here when we host these spaces. So outside of the grain in the market, which has me feeling even more bullish, everything's fantastic, man. I'm doing my fast right now. Um, about a drink, a bottle of water mixed with 5% nutritions all day you may, which is branch chain amino acid supplement. I have the mango pineapple flavor, and yeah, can't complain, dude. Can't complain at all. Feeling great, bro. How about yourself, man? How's Tokyo?
Hey, man, it's fantastic. It's a good time. That drink sounds interesting. It's been a good experience meeting with some people in the space. running into some Remilios and Miladies, and excited to see, other Bear projects getting some spotlight, man.
Oh, we're actually
Shout out to the Remilios and the ladies, man.
well, I think we had a space earlier this week where like more than half of our panel were Remilios and Miladies, man. That was pretty sick, man. And they all started flooding in here and all that stuff. So,
Hello,
what were you saying, dude? You cut off there.
can you hear me, guys?
Oh, what's up, man?
Milady.
How are you guys doing, man? It's great to have you guys up here. Bumby Bera. You know, I sort of
Yeah,
came up with a little song for you guys. Kind of rhymes with Bumblebee, 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 Bumblebee
Bumblebee.
Bera.
Yeah, I'm Zero from Bambi Bera, and glad to be here. Thanks, King, for the invitation.
Always, man. If you wanna tell us a little bit about what Bumby Bera is doing, I know it's kind of secret, but if you can give us a hint or anything like that, man, would love to know what you guys are all about. I posted, your guys' thing up on the nest with the bear on the TV with 420. And that date is actually going to be very special. It's going to be extremely special. And, I'll elaborate more as to why as we get further along into the spaces. But great to have you up, man.
Thanks.
Are you?
So yeah, I can talk about Bambi Bera. The Bambi Bera project start to be real after the Beraland launch, because as you know, I'm also one of the founders of the Beraland with Napzilla and Witcher. So I have remarked that many newcomers in the ecosystem, like they can't afford to buy an NFT from Berachain because like the floor price is too much high right now, and so I have taken the decision to create a collection for all these people. So I have started to find an artist, and I hired this artist, a French artist, and this guy he has very very big skills in design and all stuff around clothes and background. So we start to work around Baby Bera, and the the thing around Baby Bera that is like a free mint for for the mainnet for the day one, for all those people who can't afford to have a bear in their wallet. So I would like to gift them with that, and for the supply we will have like not real large supply, and like yeah, the post with the chili for the 20 April, like is because we will open our Discord, and we will have some games, some fun around the competition for whitelist, and people are crazy for that, and I think people will like the mechanism, because that's will really be hard to get a whitelist for the mint. Uh, I think it's all for the moment.
So you guys are going to provide a free mint, is that correct? For the
Yeah,
individuals that want to partake in the Berachain community?
yeah. All the supplies are free mint.
Dude, that's sick, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. And when you launch that Discord, bro, you know, can't wait to experience the community behind it and all that stuff, man. And we'll have some fun, man. I'll definitely partake in that mint for sure, dude.
Yeah, you will like, and I can give you that's the guy who will help me for giving away the whitelist and all the mechanism in the Discord is Socrates. So that would be really really funny.
Awesome, man, dude. Excited to see how it all turns out. I'm quite oblivious when it comes to NFTs most of the time. Um, Payne, I know you're more well versed in NFTs. So, what exactly does it mean when someone's like, "Oh, let me check out like the metadata"? Is that something like where you see the actual art, like you just partake in the actual mint process and you don't know what it looks like, and then the metadata is like the actual piece of it?
Yeah, so like the metadata, there often isn't there's often pre-reveal NFTs, and so like you mint it, but none of them are revealed yet, right? And so in that case, if you go on Etherscan after they're revealed, you can see the item number and like sometimes the traits and like other things about like that specific NFT that you can't see during the pre-reveal. So during the pre-reveal, you can't see like all of the metadata, and then so when the dev or someone is like, "Oh, the metadata has been updated," and the metadata can continue to be updated after the NFT is released. It doesn't necessarily have to mean just to it doesn't necessarily have to mean just because it's revealing. So yeah, that's basically what that means.
Yeah, for other thing, guys, for the mint process, we have already started to talk with bear market guys and kick down guys, and probably we will launch with a bear project that can help us with mechanism, because like as this is a free mint, I would like to work in Berachain maintenance, so I would like to work only with the Bera project around this. And as also I don't have skills dev for doing a smart contract, is the way.
Well, it seems that like I knew what that process was like about metadata. It's just that I'm figuring out that, like, you know, what I already knew has a certain thing to it, because really the only experience that I have with like minting was back. I know you guys hate to hear me say this, but was on Terra, and I forgot what it was, but like you just pasted you pasted your address onto random Earth or something, and then like your little thing would pop up, and you'd be able to see it, and really that's it. But oh, go ahead, Bear Markets. Go ahead.
Yeah, think of metadata just like properties. It's just a fancy way of saying properties. So like they're properties of the NFT, but they're also malleable. So like the person who controls the contracts can update the metadata, so you could have an NFT that evolves or changes colors over time. All sorts of interesting things you could do. Chainlink was in a call with us a while ago about having NFTs that change with the weather. So like your local weather would change, and then the properties of your NFT would change to reflect the weather. There's all kinds of cool stuff that can be done with metadata, but the simple way to think about it is just properties.
Oh, cool, man. I see. Interesting, man. Um, and I brought up also Bowtied Bart Lens, and this individual had messaged me right as we started the space to touch upon Beardrome. I've been trying to get those guys on for a while. So Bowtied, I want to welcome you up, man. Thanks for taking the time to come up and talk some shop, brother. How are you?
Yo, doing pretty good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Everything's pretty solid on my end, man. So if you want to introduce us to what Beardrome is, feel free to do so, man.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Berachain, it's a new VAMM that's going to be launching using the solidly V3 and 3 system. So it's going to incentivize liquidity through instead of incentivizing liquidity through having each project with their own separate liquidity, they're going to use their own Baro token, similar to Velodrome, to make the incentives aligned throughout the whole protocol. So I would really recommend anybody to look at the Verodrome docs. If you go to the Verodrome Twitter, you can find links for everything. And they launched their own NFT project called the Bears on Bikes Tour de Bear Ants, which I'm not going to say too much about it. I don't want to give anything away, but if you look through the docs, you'll see a little bit of the utility for the NFT that's projected in the future. So I would suggest people check that out.
Awesome, dude. Good to have you here in the conversation. Great to have you
Okay.
here, man.
Yeah,
So
good to be here.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. So it's basically like the DeFi aspect of Berachain, yeah. Not so much like NFTs.
It's very much DeFi, but if you've noticed, Berachain is obviously built on the back of a NFT collection, and a lot of DeFi collections in Berachain have launched their Genesis NFT collection. We're not the only ones to do it, but they will have utility in the future. And I would just suggest people do a little digging, check them out, because obviously we're not revealing all the details, but you can find some little nuggets in the docs if you look.
I'll be sure to do that, man. I'll be sure to do that. I'll definitely look into it more now that I've had some brief intro on what you guys are doing. Kimchi, if you want to come up, brother, I sent you an invite to speak. Kimchi. But yeah, man. I guess we can kick this off since we're covering a variety of topics regarding NFTs and all that stuff. I want to kick it on over to our boy Days. Days, is there a way for Bearchain to have some sort of GG Quest integration? How does that process work, right? Because you have an entire ecosystem that's sort of built on the back of having fun. And with with you and Rick having previous experience with like the video game interest in industry and all that stuff, I know Rick worked for Sony for a number of years and things like that. How would that application like work exactly? Given that Berachain is a Cosmos based EVM.
Right. So right now we're like in terms we're building a ton of infrastructure on the back end. So like we can like break everything into like totally like fundamentals, like what you can do with it. So, we're gonna have a base chain where it's just going to hold your Quest ID for now. And then the goal is to start like issuing them on like right now the goal is to support like every type of EVM chain. Um, so and then on top of that, we're also working with Chainlink. We're also, figuring out Oracle solutions where we can like process all this data that we're ingesting in our system. Anyways, so if you break it down at its core, what we enable is on-chain Quest contracts where you can define the conditions like do this, unstake that, deposit this, or in terms of games, in terms of on-chain games, it's like I don't know if anyone played Wolf Game or anything, collector wool, or there's like many actions you can like define in it. And then you can also define how many people can claim that. And then you can also define the reward for it. You can deposit any type of fungible or non-fungible tokens in it. So like the possibilities are endless. And we're also releasing an API which you can actually like hack together your own like questing systems, and you can like get people to complete your quests. And then we'll take a protocol fee if you want us to list it on our platforms, you want us to distribute it to our partners through our API integrations. So yeah, so it will, I think we'll be able to like get to Cosmos EVM by like Q4. For next week, we'll be able to support like every like your average EVM chain, L2s, L forks, and whatnot. So yeah, but I mean, endless possibilities. You can use it with DeFi, you can use it with NFTs, you can use it with games. Any on-chain action function on EVM for now. The goal is to be everywhere. The goal is also to be on Solana, Aptos, Sui, because games are being built everywhere, and people want to play games. They don't really like check what chain it is on, and eventually everything's just gonna get obfuscated behind an app, and you won't have to like make these critical decisions like, oh, like this morning I accidentally almost sent like 3,000 USDT to like a contract, but I got the notification on time. So yeah.
That's like the Mac and PC wars. It's just a computer.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Like, yeah, like at the end of it, like we can't keep making Ponzi's forever, right? Because the VCs are gonna get sick of it. Their LPs are gonna be like, screw you, you're not giving you more money to burn on like for I think someone calculated how much money they spent to acquire per user for Arbitrum based on the airdrop, and they spent $22,000 per user. That's an extremely high cost of acquisition for what? But anyways, I think like eventually like everyone's gonna
That's an
catch
insane
on.
statistic.
Yeah, I'll actually share it. It's this newsletter I follow, but like I've been working in tech for almost a decade. We used to Sybil attack Uber Eats and DoorDash coupons. Like I like pretty much basically haven't owned never bought a car because I never needed it. I would pay $3 to $4 per like Uber ride in like I'm talking about like a major North American city. So yeah, like VCs tend to overinvest and overspend on customer acquisition, but $22,000 per user is just like it'll bring a huge change in like the way we approach building our protocols and bringing more activity to it. Because by the end of it, someone is bankrolling it, and someone is not like making a profit on it, and they're gonna get pissed off, and they're gonna leave. So we'll be left without funding if we don't bring like actual use cases. So it's kind of my long-winded opinion on that.
So with that being said, I can bring that over to Grid Cult. Grid Cult, with what you're building at Sakura and everything that you've heard being discussed with GG Quest, and also with what Bear Markets NFT is building, and also what Bowtie said about Beardrome, is there a way for Sakura to be integrated with these products? Because from what I'm understanding, it does seem like you'd be able to have some sort of integration should these Berachain protocols work alongside GG Quest to scale out everything for front end users, and not just like the DeFi Gigabrain that's behind a screen at 3 a.m.
Yeah, for sure. And that is a huge approach of like kind of shaping what we're trying to do. So a quick recap of what we're trying to do is essentially create a subscription infrastructure around NFTs that allows the NFT to be tradable, but still having that subscriptions feature within it and pre-authenticated. We're building a lot around the 4337 ERC standard. So if you're familiar with that, you kind of understand account abstraction, gasless fees, payment bundling, and all that nitty gritty. So the effect of it is essentially, a much more seamless and enjoyable experience to the end user. We were recently talking to someone from a huge wallet company, and they kind of told us that they see us as essentially acting as infrastructure in integrating with large scale like wallets, and specifically MPC wallets. I can't remember exactly what that stands for, but essentially anything that's like an enterprise level. And we are working in gaming. So obviously, Wabi, you've kind of seen us in terms of talking to lots of different people, and now we're just going to focus on gaming because gaming is really in need of let's say like battle passes and all these kind of like subscription features, and having them traded within the game itself is like a huge kind of thing. So I think that's the way it's kind of going. is all the back end blockchain infrastructure, all the shit we were talking about last night.
Did Grid cut off for anybody else, or is that just myself?
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
No,
you
it
did.
definitely cut off.
yeah, I cut off because I have like time limits on my apps, and so I've been on this app for too long. But yeah, as I was saying, a lot of the stuff can be integrated on the back end, and I don't want it to be like integrated where like the person has to log in via MetaMask and they have to remember their keys and they have to like sign every transaction. I think in the future, and by future I mean like in 6 months' time, all of that will be outdated, and all the new kind of technologies of wallets, new wallets, smart accounts are going to be kind of integrated. Gil, yeah, so Quest GG has definitely been on my kind of radar in terms of like looking into and seeing how they kind of work within GameFi and Web3 gaming. So yeah, and in terms of Berachain as well, like I mean, I don't know the technicals of that specifically, but a deep liquidity aspect is definitely appealing because obviously a subscription platform and being linked to deep liquidity, kind of goes in hand because we want to create DeFi pooling on top of subscription features, so where you can have like yield bearing subscriptions and discounted prices based off future payments and way more flexible payment options such as buy now pay later. You can like change around things, but if you build it on DeFi natively, there's just way more kind of things. But yeah, that's way in the future.
Well, that's awesome. We should definitely chat. And there's one more thing you should definitely look into if you haven't yet. It's called ERC6551. It's they have a working group going on. So Benny Jiang is I'm sorry, I like butchered that last name. Uh, is was a co-founder at Dapper Labs and also like was a pivotal, played a pivotal role in CryptoKitties, like the OG crypto game. Anyways, so they're designing token bound accounts. So you can assign you can bundle more NFTs within an NFT. So imagine like you buy an Azuki and it has like a beans bundled to it, or like you have like we're thinking of like creating a quest vault to which you can attach different game passes, so it can be controlled by a completely different entity. We don't have to talk about an API. They make changes in the metadata of the NFT dynamically, and then we read that data and allow access. And it's all, we don't have to like deal with, it's all on chain, it's all public, it's all very transparent. So yeah, definitely that's something you should look into, and definitely DM him to jump into the Twitter group to the Telegram group to, because a lot of like really cool stuff is happening in there.
Wow, another connection made on these spaces. Isn't that something great, huh? With that being said, I've pasted everything that's being featured on the spaces up on the Nest. Guys, feel free to check the Nest throughout these spaces. I've posted Security Protocol. I've posted GG Quest and also Bumby Bera and Bear Market NFT, and also our co-host. Make sure to check them out, go through their site and all that stuff. See if you enjoy what you see. And if you're enjoying these conversations, my name's Wabi. I host these spaces throughout the week. Sometimes they're roundtable spaces like this with a panel of guests talking about narratives or just talking shop and having fun. And sometimes we host more like private spaces where it's just myself, Payne, and the featured guest, as we did yesterday. We had a spaces with Sri Ram from Eigenlayer, and that was a pretty informative space. You can check out a recording of that space on my pinned tweet. And yeah, feel free to follow us here, because Bitcoin, if you're enjoying spaces like these, it really means the world for us, guys. We're close to crossing 8,000 followers, trying to get to 10K by the end of Q2. So your support means the world to me. And if you guys want to retweet the space so more people can join in, that always works. Always looking to engage more with the community, and also that would help out and bringing these sort of spaces onto other devs, to other founders, to other community thought leaders. And if you know anybody that would be a great fit for these spaces, whether it's educational or whether it's more roundtable like, just talking shop, feel free to DM me. I'm always open to talking shop with just about anybody, even with Bitcoin exclusive individuals, right? Like we had Joe Carlester up yesterday. As we like to say it, a good friend of the show, a good friend of the brand. And always love having big Joe up here. He's 6'5" and he's a crypto litigator, and I think that's pretty cool. He's sort of like a Paul Volcker, right? He's like the Paul Volcker of of like the crypto lawyers, So yeah, man, you can catch a replay of this space shortly after it's done up on our YouTube. And yeah, I guess let's continue with the conversation. If anyone wants to come up, by the way, feel free to hit request, and we'll bring you right on up, man. We'll bring you right on up. But it's great to see individuals interacting and forming some connections, and that's what it's all about in this industry. Before the real bull market starts next summer. But I think this is some pretty nice things that we're seeing on here and all that stuff. But Kimchi, good to have you up here, brother. How are you doing, man?
Always a pleasure, Lobby. I am trading Blur up and down. Apparently, it's generational tech.
Dude, I'm also trading Blur. I swear, they're
Wait,
trying to get volatility right now.
what's generational tech, bro?
No,
Blur,
I was
Anyone
kidding.
buy
Blur.
Blur, bro, the cursed
did,
coin.
did
The
anyone
cursed
buy meme
coin,
coins?
meme
Do
coin,
you
dude,
Yeah,
dude. Listen,
there's
man.
this Pepe coin did like 35x in a day.
I'm in it still.
Dude,
It's only 1.5 mil, bro.
dude, I know,
That's insane. It's
dude,
hilarious.
I know. Snorlax, he mentioned Pepe at like 2 in the morning yesterday. I'm like, all right, man, let me ape this shit. And it reminds me of this one token. And I hate to reference my Terra days, but there was this one token called Terra Floki, popped out of nowhere, dude. And as you guys know, at that time, shit was just like going parabolic. Same thing with Floki. I'm like, cool. Let me throw some shit at this. And there's never been like a sort of like a peppy meme ecosystem, right? So that might be a new thing. So we'll see. We'll see.
In a
We'll see how
non-joking way, I do know some people who are. If you check the wallets, there's some sizable wallets who are rotating
That's
into
what I'm
Floki
saying.
from Sheep and
Yeah,
Doge. So
dude.
Loki from Sheep.
And that's the whole topic about this space, right? Having fun. It's like, why would you try to find the most giga brain complex, so hard to understand even for a quant? Why would you decide to go for something like that when you can just, hey, I'm gonna have some fun, let me go to Fun Chain, let me go to Peppy Chain, right? And we're having a good time here. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
I don't know if any was trading here like around meme coin season in 2021, early 2021.
Oh
It was
yeah. Oh yeah.
absolute absurdity. I used to sit at like I used to pay like $150 for like this Uniswap listing bot that had like basically curated like shit coins curated live, and I used to sit there aping like $100 to like $1,000 into stuff, and yeah, things would just go like 10x or sometimes 20x, and then you just rotate into like the latest contract that got published. Didn't even check the social medias or anything. Didn't even care.
yeah, you
It
just checked
was
Deck Screener and
yeah.
looked at whatever launched in the last 5 minutes and exited in like 30.
Deck screener wasn't
Yeah.
even
I
a
got
thing back then.
I got
There was
honey
no deck
potted one
screener back
time.
then.
Guys,
I put
guys, can you hear the ice cream truck?
Well, yeah, we can hear it.
You think they'll take Bitcoin?
But there's this
We're about to
insane
find out.
there's this insane story I have where I made
Wabi, you gotta bridge to AVAX, Wabi.
I'm gonna ask him right now, dude, live here on Twitter Spaces.
Nah,
I'm gonna
bro.
ask him. Hey, you
Don't
guys
harass
think
the ice
BTC?
cream man, bro.
Well, I think it's that time. I think it's that time, guys. We're about to find out true mass adoption. Okay? So, here we go, guys. Live on Twitter Spaces. How's the sound quality? Is it good? Or is it bad? It's good? Okay.
Did everybody just drop?
Well, that didn't work out, man. Damn, bro. I'm not a. I got a
We're too
text
early.
message saying to not harass the ice cream man, bro.
We're too early.
Too
Way
early?
too early, bro.
Maybe, man. Because I even asked him like, well, do you guys accept Apple Pay? And he's like, nah, bro. Only cash.
Cash, bro. Yeah.
Bera.
Yeah. Oh well. Things happen.
Probably
But
easier to find someone who accepts Bitcoin in Turkey or Venezuela right now,
yeah,
or
dude,
even
you know,
Dubai.
yeah, Dubai is something else, man. Dubai is becoming the refuge for a lot of people, and like the entrepreneur space. Sort of like an entrepreneur hub, really. But
It's like one of the cleanest places to have heard.
yeah. Outside of that, I guess we can just talk just general market discussion, man. What are you guys thinking, man? 40K, 50K? I'm thinking 35, 38 before Q2 ends.
I still think that
32 and
that
42 are the
right.
magic numbers.
Bro, don't you know the meme do 33K by July? That's the
Yeah,
Kaleo. That's the Kaleo target, man.
I think
33K
both
by
sides are going to get
July.
wrecked. Honestly.
Say that again?
I said I think both sides are going to get wrecked. I think Ben Cohen he's been off on like the short term timing, but I think he's right that this year is going to be the Bulls and the Bears getting wrecked.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on the show again next Friday. So that's
Nice.
gonna be dope. And then on 420, we're gonna have the Open X people. We're gonna have Leslie and some of the people from Open X, and perhaps somebody else that should be quite entertaining. But outside of that, Kimchi.
I think he's by far the best analyst, honestly.
Yeah, Ben's awesome, dude. This industry is full of Bens.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dace, you said you had a funny shitcoin story before the ice cream truck came.
Oh, that was Payne. I think
oh,
he was the
yeah.
one who shared his story.
No, I
Or what
had
was
one
it?
that
Or
I
was
was
it
about to
Days?
share. Yeah, I was about to share that
What,
one. Yeah.
was
Oh
it
yeah, go
Days or
ahead, Dave.
Payne?
Oh,
I think we both have
Payne
one, but go
shared
ahead,
his
Dave.
bridge story. Yeah.
Oh no, I had another one, but it's all good.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
Yeah. So this was 2021 shitcoin season was just starting. People still trying to experiment. NFTs were like, still kind of like pretty early. So this random guy made this like NFT coin, basically stake your coins uh, or something like that to get a particular type of NFT. It was like some convoluted shit. Anyways, so it was 9 p.m. or like maybe 6. So I bought into it. I think I threw in like 1,000 into it. It was called Bootleg. Like they still have their socials up, and everyone gets really hyped. Everyone like joins the group, and it was just like pretty. The energy was pretty nuts back then. Like you just had to like have a unique enough name, and then you'd have like 500 people organically just pop up and start, talking about stuff, start making threads and shit. So everyone was like, yeah, this is gonna like this looks clean. This looks clean. The developer's doxed. It's like based out of California. This is gonna rock it. But I don't know. The developer like something off with him mentally, and he was making this contract, and I think he screwed up. So he basically rage quit, and um, when this was happening, my 1,000 was 10,000, so I sold it. Screw it. I need to go to bed. It's 11 p.m. And I find out by like midnight, the developer rugs the coin because he screwed up the contract, but he didn't actually rug it because he's doxxed. So he's now trying to redeploy the coin. And anyways, I go to bed. I wake up at like 3 a.m. because I had too much pizza. I have to take a shit. And I like go to the group. He's redeployed it. And I was like, screw it. I'll throw some profits into it. $3,000. Let's go. YOLO. And that was like 2 or 3. Anyways, I wake up again at 6 because I put an alarm on to check. And again, I'm like sitting on another $10,000. So I sell it. I was like, I'm out. This is good. And then the developer, within 3 hours, decides to rug it again and then fuck off and never comes back. And yeah, everyone else lost money while I like randomly made $20,000 by chance. And yeah, use that money to book a trip to Dubai. Fun times, man. Fun times.
Last 420, right
Yeah.
before Elon bought Twitter, people were talking about bird season. So I started buying spot call and sold right before consensus. But I was just like, yeah, it's definitely it. Bird season.
I think the craziest season had to have been the fork season. Like
that
no
was
question.
Insane. Yeah. That was insane.
As much as I like talking about ohm forks and rugs and shit, I actually have to go. Apologies for this, you guys.
No
But
problem, man. No problem. Yeah, you messaged
want to
me.
find us?
No problem, man.
Go to Bearland's Discord. Follow them on Twitter. You can find Bear Market there. On Twitter, we're Bear Market NFT. I appreciate the time and the conversation, everybody.
No problem, brother. Always good to have you up here, man.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I think this is a good conversation. If you guys want to keep on going for another 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll begin to wrap up. I think we already spoke pretty much a good variety of topics within the last hour. Unless anyone wants to bring anything up in this more casual conversation, I always like having these Saturday spaces. It's always pretty fun, man. But yeah, man. Speaking of, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, Telegram. But yeah, speaking of meme coins and all that stuff, with Elon, he got this AI company, whatever, called like XAI, and like within a few minutes, like I went on freaking Decibels and ate the crap out of it, and what happened. It's pretty good. So meme coins are definitely never going away, man. And there's a saying that Payne says something along the lines of like new market participants will always outperform the vets because the vets always have like my macro, this guy said that from like he's been here since the 70s and shit, and the guy is like absolutely miserable, hates his life, and it's like there's a reason why retail outperformed the most majority of people with Doge, and it's because they find
Well, like, sorry to interrupt you.
don't worry about it. Go ahead.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it as like miserable people. I meant it as like more so like low IQ people or quote unquote low IQ people. Like if you're like if you've been in the game for a long time, like sometimes you might like see it. Like if something pumps like 50% in a bull market, for example, like the rational thing to do is sell, right? Like you're up 50%, like especially if it happens in like 15 minutes or something. But like the people who are new to the market are like, and also the veterans, like they're gonna both be like the first ones to be like, oh no, I'm aping it, and so then it will like go like 6x from there. And so I think a lot of like the older participants will like get you know they'll basically sell too early is like something I've noticed. It's probably better to sell too late than too early.
You
Yeah.
can't shake that bias. That's why, like, so for example, news aggregators or any sort of aggregators will never last because someone's gonna always come in with an edge that you never saw coming, like unintended use cases of things you just will never expect. So it's best to like the best thing to do is like to create a platform, like sell the shovel, right? Because ultimately the
Yeah,
gold runs out.
that's what I was about to say. It's like it's best to build in this space because yeah, it's gonna get more and more. The alpha is gonna get diluted into products. Like if we go mainstream, you're not gonna make much money as a trader because now you're gonna have the big guys with all their automated trading AI and whatnot. You're like
There's a
retail
reason
trading is
crypto
done after that.
participants in retail outperform like forex participants in retail, like for the most part. You're not competing against institutions. So yeah, it's a great point.
Like people are not going to be able to go get the people entering the market in the future are not going to be farming airdrops or whatnot. They're just going to toss like a paycheck or two into a shitcoin every other week.
Well, also like I think airdrops are not gonna be a thing in like 5 years in the sense of like they're just gonna hand you like $30,000 for going on a website, dude. Like that's just I still think that's one of the most
Yeah.
insane things
What
in
is it?
all of
Arbitrum
crypto.
gave, or was it Arbitrum that gave like 50 tokens per YouTube view, and some guy made like 4 videos, got less than 1,000 views, and made 50Ks?
Yeah, dude. Like they were giving grants. They were giving grants to make videos about Arbitrum on YouTube, and like people were just like literally like who
It's
didn't even
optimism.
previously have a
That was
YouTube channel.
optimism. That was
Yeah,
optimism.
Optimism, not Arbitrum. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So the reason I'm building DG Quest is because I've like lived this. I interact with Sybil attackers. I interact with airdrop farmers all the time. I've done a few myself. And I think like a good model that might get traction is what DGen Score did with the beacon. You have this on-chain activity that proves that you are, not a Sybil attacker. Then they also encourage bundling your wallets to maximize your score. And then, I've seen they also have like an opportunities cafe where then you based on your score, you can like apply for different early access. Oh, there's a pre-sale happening only for beacon holders who have a score more than 800. That really filters out like a lot of such activity. And then you can keep making it more progressively difficult to Sybil attack it. Then by the end of it, airdrop farming wouldn't be that attractive because then you'll have to, I don't know, maintain all this activity on all these accounts, and you can always like check your odd chain decentralized ID and like check like what the hell you're doing more easily. So that is the future because yeah, VCs are losing a ton of money.
Well, it's been a great conversation, guys. I want to thank everyone for coming up here. I think we can wrap it up, man. As I said, I have posted everything from our speaker panel as far as protocols and projects go up on the Nest. Feel free to follow everyone up here on the speaker panel. An upload of the space will be put into our YouTube channel. If you guys enjoyed the space, feel free to follow us here because Bitcoin and turn on bell notifications so you can be made aware of when I do these spaces and all that stuff. Shout out to our co-host, Berachain, posted one of their tweets up on the Nest. So be sure to interact with them and all that stuff. We'll be back with Bear Spaces next Saturday. And as far as Crypto World Radio, we'll be back on Monday where we will have, let me check the schedule, guys. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna have Eclipse Pad. They're gonna help out a lot of the Say Network projects launch steadily and all that stuff. We're gonna have them and Cosmos Haas, who does a lot of interchange spaces and all that stuff. And then on Tuesday, we have Landex with Dow Chemist. On Wednesday, we have Monad. On Thursday, we have the Open X individuals. And then on Friday, we have two shows. We have Ben Cowan at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then Unsheath, we're going to be covering the liquid staking derivatives ecosystems and all that stuff, or otherwise known as LSDFi at 5:30 Eastern time. Then on Saturday, we'll have our Bear Spaces. And then next Sunday, we'll have Caldera and also parallel NFTs. That'll be a double space for Sunday. So, Monad is a pretty sick layer one EVM created by some of the guys from Jump. Keon worked for Jump for a number of years, so he knows what works and what doesn't. And with Caldera, they're building out like some layer three infrastructure and modularity on Ethereum, and they've recently partnered up with a number of good protocols. So just to give some context on the guests that we have for next week, these protocols are not released yet onto the market, and won't be for at least like another year or so. So look out for that alpha. I'm really bullish on them. So make sure to tune in to those spaces. And yeah, thank you all so much for participating and all that stuff. Shout out to our guest, Grit, and Days, Feel Pain, Kimchi, and Bearland. Thank you all so much. God bless you. Have a good rest of your
Thank you,
weekend.
guys.
And I'm probably gonna rest tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm probably gonna rest tomorrow. So
Yeah, man. You've been having the back-to-back
yeah,
spaces, bro.
yeah,
You
yeah,
deserve
yeah.
it, brother.
Yeah. And some of these, and some of the days earlier this week, been doing double spaces and going on other spaces as guests and all that stuff. So, yeah, guys, I'm gonna rest tomorrow. Even the Lord took a rest on the seventh day. So, all right, guys, peace out. Take care. God bless you. Feel free to follow us here, and yeah, peace out. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, bro.
Take
Later.
care, y'all.